when we give this to our students, and we're like, okay, because we'll have.
Now, my wife, I just broke down. I said,
hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the show, Who Are You? I am your host, Dr. Leah. It is Friday. This week has been amazing, and I'm so happy for today because we have an amazing king on the show today. And I'm so honored to have him on this show today because we are going to learn a lot. Whether you are young, you are old, you're middle-aged, wherever level of life you are in, he is going to give us such an amazing time today. While facing life behind bars, once a violent gang member had the audacity to go toe-to-toe with the court system and emerge to share his story. He's put his story as well as a book, and the book is called Pro Se. So he has got an amazing story behind his life, and he's got a very, very powerful message to all of us as well in his book that we will read also something very interesting on it and talk about it and know why he wrote this book. And before we bring it up, I just want to call upon women, wives, in entrepreneurs within the Germany community. As a president of WWE and I am inviting you to join our chapter. Why? In the times that we are in the seasons that we are in, networking, collaboration is the key to growing your business. So why should you fight alone? Come on in, come join us, contact me, get to know us, get to know what we do, get to know other chapters. So we are already at 23 chapters globally. So it will be an amazing time to spend time with you. Back to our show, I will be bringing up our guest today, Devonte Parson. Hello, hello, hello.
How you doing? How's everybody doing? I'm glad to be here. It's an honor. It's definitely an honor.
Great. Welcome to Germany. Welcome to Europe.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be able to speak with people from a whole nother country. Like, this is great. I've always wanted to go to Germany. I always wanted to meet people from Germany. So big shout out from the US to Germany.
Great. Thank you so much, Devonte, for accepting to come up on my show, Who Are You? And I'm so glad because when I saw your book, I knew there was powerful message behind the book. When I saw your message, on that platform where I saw you, I saw a powerful story. I saw a man who has something to give and to offer to my audience. And I thought, why not invite him? And I'm so glad that you came up. And I'm so glad to hear all about who is Devonte Parson and what is he doing and why is he doing, why did he write the book? So tell our audience a little bit about who is Devonte Parson.
First, thank you. I appreciate it again. You make me feel so good by saying so many nice things. Really, Devonte Parson, if I would say who I am now, I'm an ambitious young individual. I'm a motivational coach. I have a passion for helping people develop their lives and getting the most out of their lives and their situations. I'm a reentry advocate for those who are reintegrating into society from the juvenile systems or the prison systems. I have a strong passion for helping their transition and empowering them to stay out and to be productive citizens. I'm also a motivational speaker. I have a passion to speak life into people rather than death and negativity and toxicity. I want to be that, and I am that individual that comes into a person's life to increase it and help them to go and learn on the way myself.
Wow, powerful. I mean, I just love what you said. You are helping people to reintegrate back into the society. You are encouraging them. You're speaking life into their lives and not death. And just in connection with just that sentence, speaking life into their lives and not death. Talk to us about your life in prison and before prison and why.
Right. Okay, well, summarize it. Before prison, I was a young kid, grew up in Seattle, Washington, in a project called the Yesler Terrace projects. I fell into gangbanging, into the Central District of Seattle, 31st and East Cherry Street. I fell hard into that because I didn't have a strong direction as a youth. There were no, my mother, she was a part of my life here and there. She had a lot going on in her own life that she was developing herself. My father was murdered before I was born. And my grandmother, she was in her mid to late 50s trying to raise a young teenage boy. So I didn't have a lot of guidance. I didn't have a lot of structure to my life, which allowed me to find my way into the streets. Now, at 14 years old, my grandma, my only stable foundation, was taken to prison. And when she went to prison herself, I was kind of left astray. And from there, I learned more about the streets and fell harder into the gang culture and fell harder into criminal activity and things of that matter. So after multiple stays in juvenile, multiple stays in jail, I got worse and worse. I guess became a better criminal or a worse criminal because I kept getting caught, whichever one you want to say. But and I ended up finding myself facing a life sentence for a gang fight that turned into a shooting. And from there, I was faced with that situation. I was 22 years old, and I had a son on the way. My son was born a month after I was arrested, and I was facing the rest of my life in prison. I had to, at that point in my life, I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? I had a 3-year-old daughter, so I got a 3-year-old daughter, a son on the way, and I'm 22 years old facing the rest of my life in prison. At that point in time, I had to dive in and say, okay, is this really what you want to do with the rest of your life? If you get another chance at life. So when I sat there and looked at myself in the mirror, I said, there got to be more. There has to be more. You have to be able to become more. And I made the decision right there that if I made it out of that situation, if I didn't end up spending the rest of my life in prison, that I would change my life. And I would start at that moment. That's when I went pro se, which is legally representing yourself. I did that because I felt like if I wanted my life back, I had to earn my life back. Yes, it's a gamble. I've never been to trial. I have no law background at all. I hate law shows. But I knew that if I cared about my life and I was going to earn it back, I can learn what I need to learn to get myself out of that situation. And I did. So moving forward, I beat a lot of the attempted murders. I ended up going and doing 4.5 more years for the unlawful possession of a firearm and putting people under the apprehension of harm assault. And throughout that time, it was a lot of growing and developing. I was still a young kid, So there was times where I was very immature. I had to do a lot of self-reflection. I had to figure out, get a vision in my mind, what I wanted to do, what was more for me, who was I, or more importantly, who was I not. So I had to carve things off of me to get back to the pure essence of who laid in my soul. And then I built on top of that throughout my time, reading books, getting under a lot of different mentors, pushing myself past limits, figuring out what I could do. And if I couldn't do it, how I can learn to do it. And that's how I spent a lot of my time. And this became the person that you see now. This is who's sitting in front of you at this point in time. A lot of trial and error, a lot of mistakes made, a lot of learned lessons, and a lot of reflection.
Wow, beautiful. That is an amazing story. And what is the good part of it is that you are able to say, a lot of mistakes, a lot of lessons to be learned, and now you're taking that a step ahead to give other people an opportunity to know that yes, we all make mistakes. The question is, what do you do with it?
Right.
And how do you, when you come out of it, how will you use that as an experience, positive or negative?
Yes.
And that is such a powerful statement, especially because it's you're young, you coming from a background where everybody was struggling somehow to survive. It's like surviving, and through that surviving, you land into things that you don't really expect because that is the only life that you think you know. And I like what you said. You didn't have anything to do with law. You didn't have any education where you'd say that, okay, I can stand at the course, I can talk for myself, I can understand how I can but then still you took that upon yourself and you gave yourself a promise that when you get out of that mess, you will definitely make a turnaround, which you're already doing. So we will take a short break, and when we come back, we are going to get to know more about the book process. And we will also be getting to know how Devonte is changing the community around him. And he is going to give us an example of how he has impacted somebody within the community just in the few years that he has been out, and he has been able to write this book, how this book is growing other people's lives. So don't go anywhere, just sit there, and we will be back just in 30 seconds. So welcome back, welcome back. This is the show, Who Are You? I am your host, Dr. Leah, and our guest today is from Seattle, Washington, Devonte Parson. Devonte is an author, motivational speaker. He is really empowering the youth. And it is not just about the youth. His story is empowering, and it is making a change in so many people's lives. I mean, from just a short time that we have had together so far on the show, I feel like there is a lot of power that has just been transmitted, from where he is, and just a lot of messages that are going out. Like, for example, knowing that we all make mistakes. It is a question of how do you turn that into a positive perspective. So, Devon, talk to us. Why Process? How did you come to the title Process? And what does it mean to you?
Okay. So initially, as I said earlier, Process is the legal representation of yourself, right? And that right there alone was a huge step for me. I stepped forth in power. I stepped forth in faith when I did that. Is going to represent myself at 22 against a life sentence, right? And but I even went back, because for me to do that, it meant that I was taking back control of my life. For me, it was like I was no longer allowing situations or circumstances or anybody else run my life. I was going to take control of my life and lead it the way that I wanted to. So also, instead of just the legal representation of self, Process means the representation of self in life. You're not allowing anybody else or anything else to control your life. And that's intentionally do things to get the most out of it. And the reason why I put that whole title in a book, because while I was fighting this case, I was going and telling a lot of the older individuals that were mentoring me. I said, I promise you, if I get out of this, it's gonna become, I'm gonna put this in a movie, and I'll make the movie a book, and I'm gonna send it back in. And I just sent copies back into prison for those people that seen me through those struggles years ago. And they're sending me JPEGs like, oh my God, you really did it. You really did that. And that's what I wanted. I wanted that impact that, yeah, I did it, but you can do it too, because you've seen me at a point where you do it where I might not have made it out, but I did, and I'm thriving now.
Wow, awesome. Talk to us, after you wrote the book and you've been really setting up the book, blessing people with the book. Talk to us about a moment where, somebody who resonates with your story came up and say, you know what, I look up to you, and I now realize that my life is going to change around, or my life is changing around just because I met you, or just because I've read this book to understand that it is about me taking control of my life.
Wow, that's, there's been a few different, I've been blessed to have a few different instances like that. However, recently there was a lady friend of mine that contacted me and told me that she was reading a part of the book where it talked about your self-expectations and diving, because I give reflection points on the book, right? Where I encourage you to journal and write down and reflect on what it is. And she was talking about the different things that she looked like, what you have held on to since childhood that you still hold on to this point. And she was journaling it, and it almost brought her to tears. said that it almost brought her to tears. This is a young lady that's been working with me for a minute. We've been working together, just improving her life and making more of an impact for her to become more. And it's just always love and gratitude from her. She's always telling me thank you, and she appreciates the guidance, and just seeing her grow from where she was to where she was now at the start and the point of that book, and me being a part of life. It's been a blessing. It's been a blessing.
Wow, wow, awesome. Talk to us. How did it feel when you realized that I have authored a book and now it is going out there and people are going to read my story? And I know for sure, deep down, this book is going to be a breakthrough.
You know, in all honesty, it's like when I put it out, I didn't get the time to say, wow, this is happening. More people have got the wow effect than I did. Because when I put it out, it was more like, what's next? You know what I mean? Like, how do I give more to the world? I don't allow myself too long to acknowledge something like that, even though maybe I should. But the reason why, because I know there's so much more I have to give the world. I put it out there and was like, okay, that's there, but you still haven't done enough because more lives to be saved. You know?
That's good. And now that you've seen how things look different right now, and I know you're still out there, and you still you have a lot of things that you're seeing, and you say this needs change. I need to move here. I need to move here. I need to talk to these people. Talk to us just from your circle, and not just the people who are sponsoring you, but just from your circle, people who saw you when you were growing up, and some maybe thought like, wow, this is just, it's not gonna be anything out here, and now today they look at you. What do they say about you?
Man, like I've had messages of people contacting me and say, is this the same person I knew in high school? Like, it's like it's this wow effect. I've had individuals from my neighborhood that I've gangbanged right on the side of, and we did all kind of criminal activities, contact me and say, man, you inspire me to be better. Like, how is this possible? Look, here's the funny thing. My own mom told me this. She said, I'm not gonna lie, and it might sound bad, but when I seen you put a book out, I was like, if he can do it, why can't I do it? Because in her mind, she felt like I was so far gone that I wouldn't be able to do something like that. And that's a lot of people. So, and that was from my own mom, So it's definitely been something where everybody, my co-defendant that caught the case with me, he was like, bro, I'm not gonna lie. When we were in the cell together and you was talking about all this, I was like, whatever, do some more push-ups, He said, but to see you do this now, it's amazing.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah.
Talk to us. If you do things differently, given a chance, what would you do different?
In life or with the book?
Yes, in life and also with the book.
In life, I feel like a lot of what I went through and that I did is a part of who I am now. However, what I would have done is the evil things I did that harmed other people. I would have changed that. I wouldn't. I feel like there's a lot of senselessness to the things that I've done against people. I wish I would have never done those things, but everything else I would have done the same. And as far as the book, I have a workbook that I'm working on right now. I wish I would have added the content in the workbook now to this because it goes more in depth, and I feel like it's going to help people a lot more. So I'm hoping I still have their attention once the workbook comes out, because that's the one that's going to be the
Exactly. Are you planning workshops? Are you planning virtual events with your book, and for people to get to know you more close? And when are you planning this?
I'm definitely planning on workshops. I'm structuring my coaching program, every morning right now. I'm hoping for it to be done by mid-March, have my entire coaching program ready to contact people. Hey, come on for this one-on-one coaching. I plan on establishing group coaching by May. And by let's say by the next summer, I expect to have my workshops, my coaching one-on-ones, and my group coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And
And what
events by
audience?
next year.
Mm-hmm. And what audiences are you targeting with your coaching? More young generation or all around? Who are you looking at?
You know, with everything that I'm teaching, I really want all around. However, I know that a lot of younger individuals, typically from the ages 16 to maybe 24, 25, they're the ones that are that a lot of people are getting the material for. But I feel like this can help anybody at any point in their life if you just want to become more and get more out of your situation, more out of your life.
Awesome. Read to us jewel number 1.
Excuse me?
Read to us jewel hashtag number 1.
Hashtag
a paragraph from paragraph from your book, jewel hashtag number 1,
okay,
that you like most, and tell us what does it mean to you, just that specific part.
Okay, all right, got you. So jewel number 1 starts off with, do what you have to do now. And I'll move forward to the part where it's I call the hidden jewel. This is the meat of it, right? After I give like the excerpt from the prison part. I said, we're all faced with those moments in life where we can choose to take action or let things be. I believe that far too many of us take the latter option, either out of ignorance, laziness, or fear. Each of those things can be alleviated by just taking back control. And I go more in depth into the ignorance. So for ignorance, the reason why I said ignorance will cause procrastination or kill your growth and success, because if you notice that when we don't know something, we don't have knowledge. That's all ignorance is the lack of knowledge. So we don't have knowledge of something that we want to do. It tends to push us back. You get that negative feeling where you're like, I don't even know how to do that. So people will do one or two things there. They'll either take the challenge and be proactive about it. Let's go figure this out. Or they'll say, they'll fall back into the next killer. Laziness. What laziness does is it's when you're able to do something, but you don't. Right? It means that I got 2 legs. I can go run and work out at the gym, but I choose not to because I don't feel like it. Right? And laziness will kill you every time because you can do it, but you won't. So the ignorance, the fact that you don't know about it, it feeds into the laziness because it's like, you know what? I don't want to be a proactive learner. I'll be a lazy learner. I'll sit back and say, hey, you know what? Whatever, man. I'm just going to kick back and let it happen. I don't really know how to do this. And over time, you just don't get it done. And that leads to the fear. Also, fear is like the foundation of all that. Because really what's going on is because you don't know how to do it, it's feeding into you being lazy. But underlying all of that really is the fact that you're scared to move more often than not. There's a reason why you're scared to move. So what that meant to me is because these are all something that I went through at one point. I was ignorant of how to change. I was ignorant of the options that I had to become a better person in life. I was lazy for the fact that I was comfortable with being comfortable. I was okay in my hell that I was in. I was okay being in the hood. I was okay with being aggressive. I was okay not going much further than where I was in life, right? But under all of that, I was just scared. I was scared because I knew not of the good life. I knew not of being a citizen. I knew not of not committing. I used to commit felonies every single day. That was nothing to me. I was scared of what it would be like to not have any of that to stand on. I was scared of what it would be like to have to stand on my reputation as a good man rather than my reputation as a feared one.
Wow. Awesome. Give us 5 valuable nuggets for the audience, for the young, for the old, for the middle age who are watching or will be watching our show. Give us 5 valuable nuggets or techniques or strategies or lessons that you have learned and you want that to come out there and you want them to be able to carry that as lessons or wherever, taking them home.
5 value nuggets. The first one, number 1 would be change your association. If you're not happy with the situation, change your association. Your association is key. You're comprised of the people you hang around the most, no matter what. If you don't like how you've been thinking, if you don't like how you've been acting, if you don't like just the places you've been going in life, get around new people. Get around new people. Go to different places you've never been to. Hang out at different spots. Meet new people. I promise you, everything else will change. And that's the bread and butter of it all. But we can break down the other parts. Like I said, here's another nugget for everybody. Thought. Take your thought. Your habits and actions and everything else will change once you change your thought system. The way you think is the most important. Because if you don't give yourself time to think positively, like I can get around new people that are better for me, then it won't happen. You won't even have the angst to get up and go change your association. Don't tell yourself you're stupid. Don't tell yourself I can't do it. Don't tell yourself you're ugly. Say I'm beautiful. I can do whatever I want to do. I'm actually intelligent. The thought process is extremely important. Find something, third nugget, find something bigger than yourself to believe in. We can give up on ourselves really easy. But if you do yourself a favor and make something that's bigger than you, I put legacy in my mind. I put 100 years, 200 years down the road, and I move in sync with that. Because I know that I might let myself down. I might give up on me, but I won't give up on my kids and their kids and their kids to come. Although I don't see them. I plant trees for a group of people that I won't even be able to see sit in the shade of them. And that's the way you have to move right there. Nugget number 4. Read. It don't even have to be my book. It doesn't have to be this book. Read. Because that's where the knowledge is at. And it's for a lot of us, us melanated individuals, a lot of us Black people, we don't want to read. We run away from knowledge. Remember that at one point it was against the law for us to have knowledge and obtain knowledge. Go and gain that knowledge, apply it, and get your wisdom so you can get the understanding. Read. And another thing, man, for people who has all that, but they just want to move forward in life and become more, action. Action breeds clarity. I heard that from a friend of mine. He said, action breeds clarity. Just get started. Do not be afraid. Get started. So my 5 nuggets, like I said, change your association and evolve your thought process. Read books. Start being active. Be proactive in your life. Oh, I forgot the 5th one. But listen. Just take those things right there that I told you, all those different things, and I promise you, you're going to become more in life.
Awesome. Those are powerful things. Changing your association. You have to change your thoughts, think about something that is bigger than yourself and believe in it. Run with it. Read. There is never an end to knowledge acquiring. So you acquire knowledge as much as you can acquire. So don't sit and wait and say, oh, I have done it all. What next? So you still have a long way to go. And today I was talking to one of John Maxwell's associates, and he was like, yeah, but if you've written all the books, then you really don't need any more. Is no. If you have made over 30 billion, then you can sit and relax. As long as you're way beyond that, you still need knowledge. You still need knowledge because you might have written 10, 20 books, but as long as you're not in the #1 bestseller in the whole world, you still need knowledge. There is something that is missing. Yes. And so it is important for people to learn and learn because there is never any story of learning. Even the big multi-million players outside there, they still acquire knowledge. And they will still say, I don't know, I don't know. I am learning from you. And you'll be like, what? Learning from me? You're on the scale of 1 and I'm here and you say you're learning from me? It can be. But yes, we learn from each other. Tell them how people can get to you.
Okay, you can follow me on Instagram at The Motivator King. You can also, again, that's at The Motivator King. You can find me on Facebook. It's under De'VONTE. I say De'VONTE, ASE with the what's that thing called? The hyphen right there. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on LinkedIn under De'VONTE Parson. YouTube channel De'VONTE Parson as well.
Awesome, awesome. And as well, you can go to the shoppncop.com and you will find the book right there. And you will see De'VONTE Parson just standing with this book, and very well, good cover, very motivating. And you know, this book has power. So thank you so much, De'VONTE Parson. We have really enjoyed your conversation and we've really learned a lot. And I'm I can be proud to say I'm proud of you and I'm proud of what you're doing out there. And I know there'll be a lot of people who will be very blessed, very blessed. The young, the middle, and the old, they will be very blessed. Everyone who is looking at you right now, they know that there is something valuable that has just touched the ground. So thank you so much. And to all our viewers who have been watching with us, thank you so much. Thank you. Give us your last word.
My last nugget?
Your last word.
Man, I truly appreciate everybody who's tapped in. Please challenge yourself always, because I guarantee you, no matter where you think you are or what you think you're doing, you can always become more and be better.
Awesome.
No matter where you started.
Awesome.
Much love, y'all.
Awesome. Thank you so much, De'VONTE. Thank you so much to our viewers. Until next week, we are on Friday, same time, same show, same force, different guests. And we will be having also a very special guest on Saturday, next weekend, and the following weekend. So keep up, watch the page, come on in, you know, give us your feedback. We always want to be able to empower you in every levels. And we know that when you are empowered, we are empowered. So we have a couple of people who are watching from Germany. We have Saniol says hello there. Maria Adwe says awesome, very motivating. Thank you so much. They really enjoyed the show. So definitely you have touched lives out here in Europe and basically in Germany. So thank you so much. Until next time, we always say stay safe, enjoy your weekend, and we see you back next week.
Yourself is bye-bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.